Call the spaceships to Davenport. I am really loud. Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for divanarchy and interface with a couch in space. Welcome to Space Couch. Give me just 1 second. I'm good, right? Like you guys can hear me. Like, okay, cool. I think we'll be fine. Let me just do a little bit of space action here, cause like I said on, as I'm a fan of saying on Space Couch here, we don't actually want to crash into the sun. We'll just do like that. Can I? All right. We'll figure it out. So, the main space like antechamber that I do Space Couch from normally is getting fumigated for space bugs. Like, that one episode of Next Gen where like Picard is like, it's like the Die Hard one where he's in like the velour pants the whole time and like they're scanning the ship for the space debris and stuff. We got that, but with space bugs, you know how it is. So we are broadcasting from a different part of Space Couch here. So it's a space guest room, I guess, today. But we are nonetheless. Spacebug says advertiser, friend of the show, Brett Lawrence is here. Yeah. What's up? Let's do that now, because Space Guest Room is brought to you by our advertisers, Tiger Squawk Records. Yes. Smoldering Embers of Aggression just dropped his new one. Yeah, it's really good. Blonde Remorse and Mystery from Australia. You want to get Dreamscape Severed Skies out of Virginia, also in Pennsylvania, sorry. Instantly has a new one called She Kills Stop, the new single from Gasoline and Vertebrate. I love that guy. You want to check out Anti-Human System from Melting Rust Opera out of Germany. Also, Bitman from England's new one, Hacked Off. It's hot. You want to check out Skull Cult is So Happy. Power Noise is back. You remember 2002. Insulin Shock, Sweet Offerings from the Industrial Underground. 62 tracks. Dark Force Fast, the new single. Check it out from me. Sanity Checks is out now. That's me and Planet Damage. Rat King's Ghost. New one. Hoffinator and all of that. Okay, now my levels are down here. Oh, goodness gracious. Just, this space distortion. Hey-oh, check 1, check 2. We'll just put me up here. A little bit of that. A little bit of that. Okay, yeah, I'll just have to speak up a bit. I'll speak up a bit. Well, yeah. We'll fix it in post. And, I'm just not gonna yak anymore because I'm so excited about today's guest. It's I generally have anyone on that reaches out, which is great. The only downside of that is like the backlog gets really long and I can't have everybody on, so it's just like this travesty. I wish we could have had him on sooner. That's where I was going with that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome today's guest, genCAB. What's up, sir?
Hello.
How's it
How
going?
are you? I'm good. I wish I knew you had like an issue with bugs because I have an issue with bats.
You have an issue
And
with
if I-
bats?
Yeah. I actually just caught one. What was it? 2 days? 2 days ago. I was like
Yeah.
working in here or whatever. We always have issues with bats because I live in the woods and everything. But usually I know something's about to go down because my cat will come like storming into here. Like he never
Uh-huh.
comes in here, and I was like, oh no, here we go. And of course, sure enough, there was like another bat in here. So I'm like so prepared for this now. I have like gloves and a net. So
Wow,
like,
that's
yeah, I'm a professional now.
that's
It's
pretty
ridiculous.
goth, dude.
Yeah. I just wish I don't know. I wish they didn't fly so erratic.
It
If they didn't do
wow,
that, it would
okay.
be
So ladies and gentlemen, sorry, if you see a bat attack live here on Space Couch,
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That could happen.
oh my god. Okay, so
But if
I
you
hope.
want any bats and you have bugs, I've got plenty.
Okay, we'll do some sort of GenCABsicles crossover event, but I really hope this doesn't get referred to as like Exhibit A, Goth Bats versus Space Bugs.
Gonna start the new pandemic in this room.
Yeah, David, hold on 1 second. I have to a
Mhm.
little bit. I got to jump back to our patrons because I keep screwing that up. Thanks to Gozer Games, I Hate Artists, Lured by Radium, Dominic Grim Reaper for Hire, Bremo Lee, New Jersey's own, Ray Calderon, Fly Ahead out of Baton Rouge, Walter Magoon out of Maine, Hunt Hen Talk out of all the time zones, actually, and Glitch. Check out the Best Friends Animal Shelter. Get your name in the Patreon credits at patreon.com/gothsicles. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
I do need to thank our sponsors because without the money coming in, you lose all the space fuel, and then
Yeah.
then we can't interviews with our wonderful space guests. Okay, there we go. Sorry,
Oh,
that there was just
oh
a
yeah, it's cool.
minor
I saw it
glitch
briefly.
in the. We'll see if the hotel Wi-Fi here can handle it. Looks like it should be able to. That's all the preamble I want to do because I'm going to start a bit cosmically, pardon the pun, because in a genre that can sometimes feel more rigid than it should be. GenCAB to me has always been pretty gaseous. I don't know, just like it's all me in terms of the state of matter. Not that you fart a
Yeah.
lot like with me, but I think I'm gonna call this a segment of the show called "Describe Your Vibe." Like, what
Oh
is
man,
GenCAB? You know what I mean?
that that's like the hardest. It's like the hardest question, just because like I came up with all this stuff, so I just kind of
If it's
I
a
don't know.
work
I
in
just started.
progress, I mean, there's no wrong answer. Like
Yeah.
if it's
Well,
just like you don't know either, or not to put words in your mouth, but
yeah.
like,
No, it's weird. Like I always try to be like, yeah, I'm an industrial band, and then I'm
mm,
like, am I though? Because like I'll listen to like some other stuff, and it's just like I don't know if it plays. I mean, I play nice with everybody, so it's just like I would hope that it goes. But there's like synth pop in there. There's
mm.
like admittedly emo, which people used to rip on me like that like years ago, whatever. Like, oh, your pretty haircut and your feelings. But like now it's cool to admit that stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
whatever. It's half emo. I don't care. I'll take it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I feel the same way. I mean, there was like a slice of time where they're like, all right, you're opening for whatever, Christ analog, but you're singing about a video game, and now it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
You
but
did that too. You carved your niche out there, and
well,
we were just saying. I feel like I've known you, yeah, since like 2006 or
it's been
something. You're still going strong. Yeah.
right. I think we both decided to sort of not age, but
Yeah.
you're setting me up for the next question fantastically because
Oh,
Perish the Thought is out
yeah.
now, but this is sort of a relic or a time capsule or as far as I understand it, tell us about
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, that was on like the first album and everything like that. And I can get into that too. I didn't like what I'm doing now. I didn't even want to call genCAB. I was just gonna call it something completely different. But lo and behold, it happened just because there were like people involved with it. And yeah. And then I ended up doing that tour, and it's just like you try to figure out your set list. And I'm like, okay, well, I got
Uh-huh.
like one new album now. I should do that, but like maybe I should do some of the old stuff.
Hmm.
And like I don't have any of that anymore. Like I had like a hard drive crash in 2010, and I lost
Uh-huh.
it. I don't have like that album like
Oh,
at all. It's
okay.
like gone. So like I was like, all right, well, if I want to do it, I got to redo it.
Uh-huh.
So I started doing that, and then it turned out that James from Panic Lift, I'd given him a remix kit for that song Perish of Thought in like
Uh-huh.
2008, and he saves everything. So like he had
Oh,
this like
kick
CD.
ass.
Yeah. So I had like some of the weird little elements. I ended up redoing most of
Oh,
it, but
that's
like
like you know when they find a Rembrandt in like some dude's
yeah,
garage, and
yeah.
you're like, well, this is just like chilling here. Like that's cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is like back then I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I was doing everything on FL Studio, and then
Uh-huh.
I would just like have other people. I'm like, can you make this sound nice? Because I was like, is it loud? Like he'd be looking at the meter,
Right.
just red the whole time. I'm like, that's right,
Oh
right?
God, yeah,
So
I've done that already.
yeah. But yeah, so now I like know what I'm doing, and then I was like, I might as well just put vocals on it now at this point because I don't know what's
So
going on.
it's like sort of it's pieces of that old remix kit, or is it like completely
It's
recon?
it's mostly redone. So like it
Okay.
like even like I had like a couple of loops and I just like completely made it was just a matter of like listening to them like isolated because I'm like, oh, I don't know, like admittedly there's so much like stuff going on with like those old tracks at the same time. It's like hard for me to like
Right. Well,
really
let's
get it.
take a
I'm like, I don't
listen
know
to
what I do.
this is Perish the Thought out now on Bang.
Blah blah blah. And then like
So
I'll randomly bump into people and they're like, oh my god, that album. I'm like, how do you even know that existed?
yeah, it did really it was a darling album in that era. So speaking of that era, that is available now. But in bigger news, everything you see is mine out now. Let's just as long as I'm up. I can't use my space control. I gotta manually do stuff today. So as long as I'm closer to the console here, let me just cut into soft off of everything you see is mine. So that was soft off of the blindingly we're finding out bright cover of everything you see is mine. I got mine on Bandcamp. I don't.
Thank you, by the way. I saw that.
No worries, but I bring that up to say like that's where I got it. I don't know if you have it out on uh, uh, Amazon Music or whatever. I can probably
Oh,
take off
it
the
should be.
earbuds
I
I'm
think
not
so.
using. But so check that out. You can't go wrong
Yeah,
with it.
please.
Um,
It's
it's
only 17 minutes. Who doesn't have 17 minutes?
who doesn't have 17 minutes? I mean, and what a great 17 minutes it is. So of this body of songs, is there like a unifying factor, or is this
Uh,
just sort of like a cut? These are four songs I did.
It was kind of an accident. I wasn't like trying. So it was supposed to be. There's a single on there, "Cake,"
Uh huh.
and what had happened is when I was supposed to go on that tour, I was just kind of looking for like a release for that single, like some kind of physical release on the single, that physical release, on the single or whatever to like support the tour or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept getting blown out. It's like, well, why don't we do a record? Why don't we do a split and blah blah blah. So I ended up just putting together the weirdest, the ones that I like. I like the weird stuff,
Okay.
like the weird. So it's like the one song is like a 5/4 chorus and like does all this hardcore stuff. The other one is just like me slapping around my fence and stuff, and then the other one's like a guitar track. So, but yeah, I feel they all go together like that. And then like I just kind of like named it for the path I built. So that thing on the cover, I built that path into the woods during the pandemic because I live in the middle of nowhere. I had nothing to do, and so now I still go out there every day, like just to check it out, and I just hang out and I like meditate by the water and all this stuff. So
awesome.
thanks. Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's awesome. But like, yeah, everything you see is mine. It's basically that. It's definitely not like some kind of like passive aggressive like
Right. Okay.
This is all mine. Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's awesome. The the so you just sort of build this thing, and then I'm glad you mentioned the range. There's 4 tracks on the EP, but you get about 17 or 18 songs. Like
I've been on fire lately. I don't know what. It's weird that like back in the day, like I had that hard drive crash and it just crushed me, and like I didn't do music for years. I had like just stopped, and for whatever reason, since 2021, I've put out one full length, that EP. I've done a bunch of remixes. There's a couple artists that have songs coming out in a few months that I wrote for. I just finished another album yesterday. And then I have another couple singles that I don't know what to do. It's weird. I'm just like, it's like, just keep it going. Who knows what could happen? Like,
okay. Well, okay. Time out. Cause like, I was trying to be cute and say like,
I thought
time out. Well, cause I was like, you get 18 songs, like, haha, cause you change like direction so often.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you went that speaking of direction, cause like, we got 1,000 things we got to address. Now you just finished an album. What?
Yeah. It was supposed to. I didn't even know what I was doing. It was like an EP, and then I just kept going. And so, before I knew it, I had an album. Then I was going to turn that into 2 EPs, and then the one thing turned back into a full length album again. And I don't know what I'm doing with any of it. Actually, I think I had accidentally sent it to you the other day, didn't I?
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I was like, just listen to it. It's fine.
Like we got some space problems, to be honest. So I haven't like really had a chance to
no, it's
absorb
fine.
it. But that's awesome. Like, keep the fire going. Let's put a space pen in that, because I do want to cover everything you see as mine. And well, and I guess we can sort of wrap in whatever you're calling this one, because I wanted to get into process, because we were talking a little bit in breaks and stuff about how me personally, and like a lot of people sort of connected with that ill transmuter too, if that's even how you pronounce it, because I didn't really know you super well.
Yeah.
But
it was Gemini, but then now I call it 2 transmuter.
Okay, 2 transmuter. Okay. Or 2 transmuter, ill transmuter too. Sorry, edibles kicked in. So. And sort of tying in this thing with how long we've actually known each other, like how does your process from something like that change to something what you just dropped or what you just did for everything you see is mine, available now on Bandcamp?
Yeah, it's so weird. I feel like I used to just be real fragmented, like like, I can't sleep, so let me just doodle around on like this thing or whatever, and then I would like Frankenstein pieces together.
Okay.
Now it's a lot. I'll go in wanting to do a thing a certain way. It goes wrong, but then I turn it into something. And lately I've been finishing stuff from start to finish in like 6 days.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to last, but like it's been a fortunate streak, I guess. Like
that's pretty awesome, man. Like, I feel like the sort of the weight of it is up. Like, it would be like, okay, I'm working on this song, like I'm going underwater, hold my breath and jump under, and now it's just like it's fine. We can do it, and 6 days is fine.
Yeah, but it's so weird because I remember back in the day, people would bug me about it more, and I'm like, it's never happening again. I can't do it anymore. I suck. I can't do it.
Okay,
and now it's like almost like I'm trying to make up for that.
Okay, interesting. All right, well, we definitely look forward to that. And sorry if I lost the plot a little bit on this. Are you on tour or just getting off tour?
Oh, no. So I finished that tour. That tour was in October, and then it was supposed to last 8 weeks. It did last 8 weeks. But then I got sick. I got COVID for the first time, like the first week into it. So I had to, man, that is a whole odyssey, actually. So I'd gotten COVID in Cleveland, and then I rented a car, drove the car from Cleveland back to Pennsylvania, waited it out for 14 days, I think. 13, 14 days until I was tested negative and I felt fine. And then I flew back out to Seattle and met everybody.
Fucking warrior. Holy shit.
Yeah. And then, well, God, how long was I then? Like another 10 days I was on tour, but then I got 2 ear infections and I couldn't hear myself. Completely like deaf, like in the one ear. So I had to, oh my God. Yeah. I had to go home again, but then the doctor at the hospital was like, you probably shouldn't fly because you're going to really do some damage.
Oh my God.
So I had friends in Austin that they just lived there and they were planning to surprise me to drive to New Orleans. I drove with them to New Orleans and then got on a train for 2 days back to New Jersey.
The Indiana Jones graph of this is
this was planes, trains, and automobiles, like for reals.
Oh my God.
But yeah, then I went back and then like I was sick again another 7 days and then I finished the last 2 dates because they were in Atlantic City and Newark.
Hold on a sec. I gotta do a space maintenance
right
here. Brett says wah. Emily L says oh snaps, another full album. DJ D42 is in the chat room. Adam Baum is in the chat room. Happy birthday, DJ Official Loki. And Brett Lawrence says HCAC show was so great. Glad you were able to be at that one, David.
I have a story about that guy, actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So right after
AO
that
Radio Sound says raid.
Raid?
Yeah. Oh, they raided from Twitch. Oh, thanks, guys. MTV TV. What's up? So go ahead. Give it. I'm listening. I just my coffee machine's off screen. I'll be back.
Yeah, it's cool. So like, I was in this place called Longwood Gardens. It's like a Christmas oriented like park thing with my wife. Like after the tour had finished, and Brett was the first person that ever recognized me that wasn't like adjacent to the show in some capacity. Like, oh, this is gonna happen like right down the block or whatever. So it made me feel really cool. And it made me look cool in front of my wife, too, which was really awesome.
Oh man. Yeah. Bremley's good like that. Bremley's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Brett and Emily. Okay, now I get it. Bremley.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it took me a second, too. So, the... And that was with Aesthetic Perfection and Josie Pace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so how... That sounds awful horrible. Like, I'm a fan of both of those bands, but then you're like plague-ridden.
Yeah. So I never get sick too, so it was like really weird. But now, like, I'd never met Josie Pace, and like now their reputation with me is like, oh, like even at the festival, they're like, try not to get sick before you get up there. That's just like, yeah.
Official DJ Loki says saw them at West Palm, amazing show.
That was one of the ones I missed.
Okay, well that's probably why it was good. Sorry. Yeah. Well. Cool. So they generally good shows by you, or was it just like you powering through like with this?
It was weird. There was. Well, there was only one that was really bad, like sick wise, like bad. Everything else I felt fine until like even when I got COVID, it wasn't even bad. Like the joke was like I had some bad wine and I couldn't taste how bad it was, so I took a test like for a goof, and then it came up positive, and then everybody of course swarmed off the bus.
Oh my God!
And I like felt like I was like no, like the thing or something. But the one in
Nightmare.
Dallas, I was completely deaf in this year,
Uh-huh.
and then my hearing was going in this, and like my blood pressure was all crazy, and it was like the closest I thought like I might die if
Oh
I go.
wow.
But I did it anyway, and like it went amazing. I was like so hyped. I went back to the bus, started crying, and then went right back in there and like started selling merch. And then as soon as the lights came on, I was just like, I'm gonna die, like
Oh my
again. And
god.
that
Oh,
was
I've
that was
I've
basically it.
I I'm my shoulders are getting tight just because like yeah I'm sorry that you had to go through that and I know exactly what you mean because I've
Yeah,
played
yeah.
that book. Um well, speaking of shows, let's stop beating around the bush and Bremley, actually, we just all saw each other at Dark Force Fest.
Yes,
Yay!
yeah. Oh, you got the
Um,
shirt. Like,
I had to take the sleeves off. You know how it is. Thank you.
I do know how
Yeah,
it is.
hell yeah. How was that for you, man?
It was awesome. Yeah, I didn't even think we would. We got added like last.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I think literally the last thing added because or Jet had literally just audited at the time. It was like, hey, we can stick one more band in here. And then I had casually mentioned I saw him in New York when we played there. It's like, oh, I would do that, but he didn't even know I was back around. So, but it was cool.
Okay.
But he's like, oh, okay, you want to do it? Then pop on in. So yeah, and
Awesome.
it went off awesome for like a Sunday. Like we did Sunday at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and the
Mm.
room was filled. It was made me feel nice.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
nice.
Oh, Emily L says DDF was epic. So glad David was added. Or DFF. DDF is probably something
GG.
hilarious. Uh, Eric Arvid
Daddies don't
says
fart.
DFF was the best weekend of my life. LOL.
Nice. I
Uh,
agree. It's up there.
that was it. It was so awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
We I think that might have been the second time in my life we had to shut down the merch booth early because we sold everything. Like
Really? Oh
the
wow. Yeah.
where's your merch booth? We had it. We just don't
Yeah.
have anything anymore.
Oh man, that's
Um,
real awesome.
and for a Sheraton ballroom, it sounded great.
Yeah, yeah.
We had we had one sound issue that was totally on our end, but it wasn't like everyone's played this show where it's just a nightmare and the sound guy's
Yeah.
like, you want the
We
backing
had
tracks how loud and
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I figured though after a couple days they would figure that out anyway.
but it's awesome. So I'm happy. It sounds like it went well for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, man. I just
But
want to do more.
what's that?
I just want to do more.
Well, you will have that chance shortly as Terminus is coming up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That was a
cool.
surprise.
That's super. Have you ever played that one before?
Yeah, actually. Well, not as me. It was I was with Aesthetic Perfection. We did the Necessary Response reissue.
Okay,
Was that
okay, cool, cool,
2016 or
cool.
something like that? Yeah, yeah. It was off. I had a good time doing push-ups in the street and looking at horses. And
You know how it
yeah,
is at industrial
yeah.
festivals.
You gotta,
You
yeah,
push
you gotta
ups in the
stay
street and
trim.
look at horses. What?
Yeah, and it's close
Well,
to Banff.
it is close to
Yeah,
Banff, and I learned the funny way that takes place during something called rodeo, which is the big um, like kind of cowboy festival. They mentioned it in Nightbreed, and
do they really?
yeah, well, because at the time I just thought it was some weird, whatever takes place in this small town, but no, it's Calgary Rodeo.
Huh.
Um, but just weirdly, but that was the past.
But
This is the future.
yeah,
So you check out genCAB at Terminus Festival. That's going to
please
be
do.
awesome.
I
Those
don't know
guys
which day we're playing yet, so go to all three.
okay. Well, go to all of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, but don't schedule out dinner around genCAB or
Yeah.
anything like
Or breakfast
that.
in case they stick us on first.
Okay.
Which
Well,
I still wouldn't mind. I like early. I'm an early guy.
I really okay. The few, the proud. Me
I'm
too,
weird.
man.
Oh,
Uh,
good. Okay.
um, pack some of instant coffee. You'll be fine. You'll be
Heck, and A.
fine. Just get some beef jerky, a little morning protein. You're gonna be great. Um, but big ups to that, to Terminus Festival, and to you for getting that checked that out. I wanted to know what in your opinion, like, I remember like saying like, "Hey, what's up?" to you at like Dark Area Festival in Salt Lake City, like a few 10 years ago. What, in your opinion, makes a really good festival? Alternatively, what makes like a bad one?
Mm. Well, good. So like, I liked how I'll just use Dark Force as a thing. I mean that alternating stage thing,
Yeah,
so that like someone can like set up while like someone's playing. So like if you can,
yeah,
I mean sometimes it doesn't always line up like perfectly or whatever, but
it's
like that,
pretty awesome.
yeah. And I think that I don't know if maybe that's the first one I've seen for this kind of music
Uh
where they
huh.
did that, and I really like that. I thought that was cool.
It's pretty
I
cool.
like yeah, blending in newer bands with like some of the older bands is cool. I like that too
Oh yeah,
because kind
okay.
of forces well, forces not at gunpoint, but it's just like,
I'd
what are we doing?
never
I don't
heard
know. Let's check
personally.
out
I'd
these
never heard
guys.
like leathers or actors before, and I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
"Damn, okay, I
I
get it
really like
now."
leathers. I was like because they were on Saturday, so I didn't really have to do anything that I was like I think I like had a buddy like drive me there early while my wife was getting ready. I was like, I gotta
Uh
see
huh.
leathers. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, all that
Awesome.
like that stuff is cool. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was like it was pretty great, and then like finally being like, okay, actors is leathers like with
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that I wasn't.
Bamboozle.
I couldn't quite figure out where like along the line the Pokemon evolution line that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Um, but it's certainly distinct bodies. I definitely I had a great time. So
Yeah.
cool. So mixing new and old. Um,
And not
or
like depriving anyone of anything like based upon VIP. So like not that I talk bad about things, but
uh
there was nothing wrong with this one, but I saw like what was it called? It was this Cure festival in Pasadena in like 2019, and I bought like VIP, but VIP essentially let you get shade, like literally sit you can
get
sit
the
under this
fuck
tree,
out of here!
and they
Seriously.
were people like passing out like all night, and like it was miserable even in the shade, and I was like, this is such a bummer. I mean, I know
That's
he's yeah.
that's the gothic extra hour in the ball pit, if there ever was one.
Yeah,
That is, I've never heard of that. That's hilariously
it was
great.
wild. I hope that never becomes a thing.
So, yeah, definitely don't upgrade for shade. I mean, I've seen it done, like VIP stuff. Like, I get it. That's fine, but I mean, it's weird. It's weird on the band end. That happens rarely, but it's like
Yeah, yeah.
um, because the gothsicles have sort of bopped along in this industrial middle class for 20 years, so it's like
Right on.
sometimes we get the cool lounge, or just like
Yeah.
you get the kind of cool lounge, so it's just
You got the cool stage this year, yeah.
yeah. Well, we got
Yeah,
the cool stage this year.
yeah, yeah.
Not that there weren't some. Well, it's funny because like the quote unquote cool stage was like really cold to me, and then the smaller stage was just like a locker room.
Yeah, yeah. It was mad hot in there.
But ironically, or at least eponymously, had some of the hottest performances of the whole thing. No shade thrown to people whose room just
Oh
happens to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
smaller.
Yeah, when I say it like that, I didn't mean anything.
No, but
Because I played there too.
it's weird because it's like that's like am I gonna go to the undercard, or like just
Yeah,
barely to
yeah.
the lowest line of the headliners,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's I don't know where you're coming down on it. I get it if it happens, but I will say it does sort of charge things for me as a performer. I don't
Right on. Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And at least for me, I understand that like every festival doesn't have two rooms. I get it. We don't want vampire freaks money, but
Yeah.
at least acknowledge that bands can't magically change over in 0 seconds. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I've seen those schedules where it's like, Gothicals end at 8, 8 to 8:30, Panic Lift 8:30 to 9.
Oh
No,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not
It's like
how
it's
it
not gonna
works at
happen.
all.
Yeah, yeah. And
We
then
need
inevitably it ends up being like some poor band goes up there like you got to cut 15 minutes so we can get
Oh,
back on time.
yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
then, you're looking at Faderhead who's like, "I'm glad I flew from fucking Germany for a 22-minute set."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Assholes.
It's weak
Um
sauce.
not that any festival would ever do that. But to your point, I think the memo got out on that because Dark Force Fest and Terminus, which we were talking about earlier, only has one stage. But if it says 9 o'clock on the flyer, that's when the band's going on. It's not like 11:15 or some shit like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
big ups to both those festivals and that advice from our guest today, genCAB. Thank you. Oh my God, it's already 3:37. So we're gonna go long
Okay.
today, everybody.
I talk a lot. I apologize.
Sorry.
I don't
I
talk to
could
a lot
sort
of
of.
people.
What's that?
I don't talk to a lot of
That's
people,
too
so when I
bad.
talk, I
Like
talk a lot.
I at the risk of getting space mushy. Like no, this is the flow. The space energy is like really good here.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I should have
A lot of
thrown out.
radiation out here.
What's that?
A lot of radiation out here.
Well, we'll
But
get
it's
into the
good. You Hulk
radiation
out and
round in a
everything.
second.
Oh, right.
Speaking of rounds, I want to know back to process for a second. It's just I've been fascinated lately here
Yeah,
on
sure.
Space Couch. What the life cycle of a genCAB song is. Like you said, you knock it out in 6 days now. Like,
Mhm.
is it like 4 to 6 a.m. is Cubase time for me, or is it like you'll be walking around with like a bass line for 4 days and you throw it all down? Like, what's sort of your general
Oh,
napkin sketch to MP3?
so like, if I have like an idea, like I'm already in bed by 10:30 or 11.
Yeah,
That's who I am. And then the
yeah,
idea
hell yeah.
comes, yeah, yeah. Then I will get out of bed and get that down, and then
Uh-huh.
like maybe build around that. But I kind of like I mix at the same time that I'm like doing the thing now, which helps
Right.
a lot. So by the time to put the vocals in, it's just really a matter of like getting levels down and all that.
Okay.
And then vocals that takes a while. That I'll do that all day, like
Mm.
just like sitting in front of the couch or whatever, or sitting on the couch and like writing things down and going back and forth. And because I write the lyrics last, so I'm
Okay.
like I don't even know what the song is about until like I'm gonna
Okay.
go in there and think it's about a thing, and then write some
Oh,
words,
dude,
and
yeah,
then
I've
like
heard that.
change it, and I'm like, oh wait, but for that to work, I gotta change this to this. So now it's about pancakes and
Right.
like
Oh
stuff like
well,
that. Yeah.
the audience has heard me tell this story before, but there's a folder on my computer called "Tough Guy Shit" because I was gonna try
Yeah.
to write some real like Rambo macho stuff, and
Right
that
on.
turned into a song called "Straight Up Otter Time." So like
Nice.
it shifts sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
okay, so it is speaking of shifting. It sounds like your process is sort of an evolution unto itself. Like, I mean, it may
Yeah.
start from a baseline sometimes, but it also sounds like you're a pretty rigid guy if you can knock it out pretty quickly now.
Yeah, that's just like a recent thing though. I don't know
Okay.
what caused it. But I do like to start with the percussion too, because I
Uh-huh.
noticed that if I do start with like a melody, like I can be the like I'll think it's the sickest melody. I'm like, oh my god, it's so great.
Yeah.
Making the percussion fit with that is like harder than me going the opposite way. Like when I finish percussion, I'm like, I could put anything on this. Like if I really like the percussion and then
Mm-hmm.
feel okay about it rather.
Right. It's
And
not
then of
gonna
course
like
develop it.
you're gonna have to burn down the whole house to make it work if you're just building it on the foundation of percussion.
Yeah,
That metaphor
yeah, yeah.
worked out better than I thought it was
That's really
gonna.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
sorry. Okay, wow, okay. I mean, no, I totally space meant that. All
I
right,
knew
so
that.
yeah, I'm using space as my Smurf today, apparently. Um, and um, musical influences. Give me one you think we might expect, and then like one give it
Ooh.
in like the non-obvious column.
Expect so like Like the big one back for me in the day was this band. I don't. Do you remember this band NCC?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my
Neon,
big thing.
like Neo Cyberchrist.
Yes.
Oh my!
Them, yeah.
I haven't thought about NCC.
Yeah, that album hasn't come out. Or when did it come out? Like something like January 2000.
Yeah,
like
right.
2000 it came out. Yeah,
Like
I was
sampling
like,
the Borg and shit.
Yeah, dude. It was because they had. Yeah, they sounded all sick and everything like that, and I'm sure they had like the Skinny Puppy influences and all that. But like, if you got the CD, I was like, I probably had it in my office somewhere. But you open it up and it's just like the two of them. One's dressed as a raver, and the other guy's like just dressed like a hick, and they're fishing.
Oh, hell yeah!
And it's just like I just like that kind of stuff, like where it's unexpected. Like it was just cool. It was fun, and yeah.
Yeah, no,
that was a big one for me.
I feel you. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just glad you knew what it was.
No, well, it's if they're still around, you can meet them. Is the thing like
yeah.
Like I think of like some of my huge influences would be like Neotech, who like I don't even know if they're still doing anything. But then like the other big one would be like Leather Strip, who's just like my buddy now. Like it's
really. Like, he's like knocking shit out of the park left and right.
Well, you want to talk about production to MP3 in a minute? That guy's machine. But it's like, it's that's one of the cool things about industrial, as we've said on the show before, is like you can meet your heroes if they're still going.
Oh yeah, it's wild.
But like the you think about these bands who like was Birmingham 6 a thing, or was I just like crazy?
Yeah, no, that was
totally was a thing.
Yeah.
But it is a lost sort of eddy of music for many. That's a sort of secret repository of influence. So love your call on Neo Cyberchrist, and
hell
I need one more.
What's the obvious stuff? Like definitely Imperative Reaction.
Okay.
That was another thing, because I remember getting like the monotone vocal stuff all the time, and I was like, this guy's singing. Like that's wild. And like to me, that was just like, you can just sing if you want over this.
Right.
Like I thought that was so sick. And yeah, now lately it's like weird stuff like Bright Eyes. I've been really big into Bright Eyes.
Big Bright Eyes fan. Okay, cool.
Yeah, especially like lyrically, like this. Yeah, it'll come up late. But the stuff I have for the next album is like very adjacent to that.
Okay,
whatever.
I gotta do a lean over to see our commentary today.
Oh yeah.
So sorry if I'm just gonna be looking at my shoe that I left on the bed. Brett says, I was happy to see genCAB, the Gospels, and Bile twice, all in the same weekend. Plus Morris Black. Klaus is an absolute love. Oh, Grasp Logic is here. What's up, buddy? Tiger Squawk Records in the house. You are just in time then for the features section of the show. So let's check out the radiation round, called that because lightning is exceedingly rare in space. Oh my gosh, actual space
I can feel it.
We have the color out of space. All right, so no wrong answers, of course, here on the radiation round. First person shooter or real-time strategy?
So I'm like a Metroidvania kind of guy. But
okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's my answer.
Totally works. Captain Planet rings: wind, water, earth, fire, or heart?
Earth.
Earth.
Old Earth. Yes.
Good call. And favorite country to play outside of the U.S.?
Oh, Mexico.
Mexico. Why
Mexico goes hard. They go hard. Like every time I've ever went there, it's like it gives you this, like people come up to you and like screaming and stuff like that, and like signing things, and then just during the show they all go balls out. Like,
oh, dude,
awesome. Yeah. Mexico City especially. Mexico City.
Yeah, right. Like we played Mexico City. I met the dude from Amdusia like in my first half hour in Mexico City, and I
Oh wow,
must have
yeah,
listened to Easy Road to Hell 80 billion times, and so I'm like, "Hi, this is weird." And
yeah,
then
yeah.
like the opening band is like this lucha industrial band, wah! and then
Yeah.
um, and then like these guys are like, "Hey, I'm glad you still have your second album," and you're like, "How do you know who I am?" And then we played. The audience will be sick of this show, but I'm excited. You're sick of this story, but we played like this street fair the next day. The promoter at the time goes, "If we leave right now, we can play it." I'm like, "I don't have no idea what's going on." And so like at noon, we play in front of a power plant, and like every band after us is like just heavy metal, like metal, like out of central casting metal. And so I'm like,
Yeah,
hope you
yeah.
guys are ready for the opposite of this shit. And so we do our thing, and like
Yeah.
this whole old man like hobbles over to me after the show. I'm like, I don't know what this is gonna be, and he goes, America. Sorry, you said Mexico City. I got excited, but
They go hard at all ages, I
they
guess.
go hard. And so you've had great experiences in Mexico as GenCAB and aesthetic and all that.
No, well, just aesthetic.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, actually, I haven't. Well, if you count Canada, I haven't left the U.S. with this yet. But
So
I'd love to.
well, let me jump back to the top. So that was Metroidvania,
Yes,
Earth, and
yes,
Mexico, specifically Mexico City for that radiation round because they go hard.
absolutely.
Um, how how does this playing in like aesthetic perfection inform your playing live?
Uh, well, it's actually kind of funny that you bring that up. So, like, yeah, it was weird. So obviously, this existed before I started like doing AP, but then I did AP in like 2008,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Well, oh, we did 2007. We did Necessary Response. So I don't know, it was just a matter of like going hard and not having to think about lyrics. But then in 2009, we brought my drummer over, Tim
Mm-hmm.
Van Horn. So then essentially the first incarnation of aesthetic perfection was genCAB with Dan singing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, that's not true. That we did a show in LA. We played with Imperative Reaction, SITD, and then Aesthetic Perfection. We were the first band, and Dan played keyboards for us.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's just I felt like it was, at least during that time frame, it was just like an extension of the same thing, except
Mm-hmm.
I could go hard and like hurt my neck while I'm playing keyboards because I'm like, I don't gotta sing, you
Yeah,
know. So yeah.
because I mean,
But yeah, now I noticed. Oh, sorry, go.
oh no, I was just gonna say because like I played in caustic for like a long time, and it was
Yeah.
really interesting for me to be like, okay, so this is what this feels like to be like more or less stationary for the whole show, and not
Yeah.
have like being able to be like, all right, this feels awkward. Let me run to the other side of the stage or something like
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
know, it was just an interesting experience, but yeah, or like you said, yeah, having just being able to go hard and not having to
Yeah.
be like,
I did notice I go harder though now singing, which is like
interesting. Why?
yeah. Just like as much as I would move on the keyboards now, I used to just kind of stand there,
Uh
like when I'm singing or whatever. And now I'm like the next day, I'm like, I hurt my neck. It's like I feel like I just played keyboards for aesthetic perfection or something.
we we need like a like an industrial chiropractor who's like, oh,
We
were you
really
fist
do.
pumping a lot last night because you're having the rotator cuff. You know, they know all the moves. You'll heal your
Oh
Captain
man,
Morgan
just helping
stand
everybody else.
injuries.
That would be
Okay,
a
so let's.
welcome like addition, honestly.
What's that?
A chiropractor for like
Yeah.
that kind
Oh,
of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it would have to start with the K for like industrial,
Oh yeah, of
chiropractor, and
course.
like in brackets, in
Like the
semicolons and
compressor
shit.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. DJ D42 says, and David, were you at Triton Festival in Brooklyn in 2010?
I was.
I was
Yeah, that
too.
was. Yes, you were.
Yeah,
Yes, you
man.
do. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, okay. That was. Yeah, that's funny, dude. Yeah, that was like at that time the last time I had played with Aesthetic Perfection
Hmm.
before I just kind of like quit for a while. Yeah, I was there. It was
Yeah,
awesome. It was a
that
big
was a
venue.
wild one.
And I know they filmed it too with like crazy cranes and
Yeah, that
things like that.
was.
I never saw any of the footage though.
I never saw any of it either. It
Yeah,
was.
that's weird.
that was a precursor to really Dark Force Fest because that was
Yeah,
Vampire
yeah,
Freaks really sort
yeah.
of testing the waters and yeah, yeah, I was heavily drinking at that time, so I don't remember a
So
lot
was
of it.
I. That's
Yeah,
why, but I do remember bumping into you at least once there. Yeah, yeah.
shout out to like yeah, my main memory of that show is like being like uh, starting out every day, going into the band area and being like, I am such a fucking alcoholic piece of shit. I'm starting to drink. I'm the first one in here. And then when I always be drinking, I was from FGFC too, like cracking them open and be like, all right, I am not the first
Yeah.
one. Really, really fun festival, says Brett. We agree.
Yeah.
Let's move on to hype. Hypothetical
Uh,
spectacle. Um, so if we were to sort of like encapsulate emotionally the gestalt of GenCAB into various forms, we'll do a movie or a breakfast cereal or something. But today, let's figure out what GenCAB. The video game would be like. Would your guy be like a high tech lowlife? Could you stop the game with a frozen pause? Like what?
oh no, I was gonna say I would think. Do you remember that? Is that Prince of Persia game where you could
Yeah.
kind of stop time? Yeah, like
Okay.
that, and like Braid, like something where you could stop something that where you made a mistake and then go back and try to fix it, and then
Oh
that kind of
wow,
encapsulates all this stupid shit I write about. I guess really.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wasn't expecting you to be so introspective on hypothetical. That oh my
Well, you
god,
said frozen pause, and that I was
no,
just like,
that's
wait, and I was like, frozen pause, channel the
fucking
past, like,
awesome. Like, what a better way to encapsulate the emotional weight, if you will, of a GenCab song into a video game than sort of leveraging that Prince of Persia mechanic where you go back in time and try to fix a mistake.
yeah, yeah.
Damn. Sorry. No, I'm really impressed with that answer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah,
Cuz it's just like if you want to get spacey, pardon the pun, with it, that's kind of what we attempt to do with this music. Like why even write it in the first place? I guess to sort of
yeah, yeah.
capture this feeling and look at it, but aren't we just sort of preserving the past or
A lot of it's just are like arguing, like in the shower. You know, when you're in the shower and you're like, you can't
uh-huh.
believe you did something stupid, and then you just kind of like reenact that argument in the shower or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like a lot of that, yeah, it comes out with the music, and like you don't know why. Like, I never like I know all this stuff I write is like depressing, or at least
Mhm.
lately. Well, people find out later when I the newer stuff is depressing. I'm like, I don't want to be depressing, but it's just like it makes me feel good to get that out of the way and
Well,
like put that. Yeah,
yeah, like I've been sort of swimming in those waters with this project I do called Gasoline Invertebrate. I just did it with we are on tour with God Module recently,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it
Oh
was
yeah, saw that. Yeah,
wonderful. Shout out to those guys, and of course, Absent of Faith, without whom none of that would have been possible. And I like their music, obviously, but
for sure. Yeah.
the point of all that is like yeah, why am I sort of reenacting this uh echo chamber of pain every night? And
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if I otherwise I close my eyes and the fucking movie starts, like this is get it out,
yeah.
but is yeah, I suppose in an attempt, really, I hadn't thought about it like that, but in an attempt to sort of fix, air quotes, the past.
Yeah, and it's been a weird, or at least in I know my position's a little weird just in the fact that like I was doing it and then I stopped, and so
Hmm.
like I had like what was that like almost well yeah 10 years or so I just stopped
Yeah,
thinking about
right.
all this stuff and then just starting it up again. It's weird how you go right back
Was
to
it
that head
from that hard drive crash? I'm sorry. Is that like?
that the there was no yeah so like I put out there was an album Thoughts Beyond Words
Uh
that
huh.
came out in 2002 and I think it's five yeah half of the album, so five of the tracks were ones that I had already written that have been like in my head ever since. Like I
Uh-huh.
had like early demos of them without vocals and stuff, and then I lost everything on the thing, so I just recreated it like to the best of
Wow.
my abilities as far as like remembering it. So like half that album was like stuff I had written in 2010. Like I had Channel of the Past was almost on the first album. Like
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And then I just it was like toward the end of the cycle, and I was just like, oh, I'll just get this over because it was just like 12 tracks on there already. And that was going to be on the next thing, and that was what the second album was supposed to be called, was Channel of the Past.
That had to feel good to,
It did, yeah.
I mean, you're
Especially now.
walking around with this, uh, not only the emotional chaos of it, but just the unfulfillment of like, it's this done thing. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like in my head, it was done, but and you tell people, or I tell my wife, and they're like, "Sure, it is, sure." Until you get it done or whatever.
uh-huh,
But yeah, like that, like Seafoam Cemetery was like a real personal song for me, and
uh-huh.
like
Wow,
well,
okay.
Settle was like really old too. Like yeah, it
So
was like wild.
check that out. And then was it just, and then was it you divorcing yourself from that intentionally that led to that 10-year gap?
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of it was the frustration of just losing all that
Oh,
work.
okay.
Like, I
It was
didn't
the
have any.
frustration of the loss of
Yeah,
it. Okay.
I didn't have like a good workflow, so it's just
Oh,
like
okay.
to me, it's like you might as well tell me like, yo, your house burned down,
And then
and it's
was it
just
the
like all my
pandemic
stuff.
that like
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was weird. I was my brother-in-law makes these like short movie things or whatever, and he wanted me to do like a score. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll make this spooky score. And then I just started because I was doing guitar music for like the last couple of years, like
Uh-huh.
so far removed from this. And then I just was like, oh, why don't I redo a couple of these? And I redid one, two, three of those songs that I was talking about, and then another
Mm-hmm.
two. And then I just was like, oh, let me try to fish it out. Maybe I can put the EP out. And then like or I went with Negative Gain, and then they're like, oh, well, why not make it an album? I'm like, I don't know. So then in like 3 months, I finished the other 5 songs, and I was just like, holy shit, I have an album now.
That's
It's
awesome.
like wild, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh it's a common refrain. Like Pitch Black Manor got back together after 25 years. Like the pandemic
Yeah.
sucked. I'm not gonna say it didn't, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like the fifth
It gave
guy
me a
I've
lot of
talked
time
to
though
that
to focus,
yeah.
though. You know what I mean? I'm like
No,
little
I
things
do.
like
I
that.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
explicitly. The David is back in the Brett says so glad David is back in the scene. Sorry to hear about the hard drive crash. Kind of similar to Jack Danger's MBM having to recreate his
Thank
lost
you.
material. Yes, that
Yeah.
was. Oof. It just makes you sad to think about like lost meat feet in the world. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Like in the sense that he didn't have even any clips of it or anything, or
I
I
don't.
don't know his particular
I don't know
story.
his story.
Uh,
We'll have to get him on couch,
yeah.
uh, which would be amazing.
You hear that,
Like
Jack?
I'm a diehard attrition guy. I got to talk to
Yeah. Yeah.
him, and people I didn't know, people I thought I knew. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Angel Spit and Stoneburner has been on, and anyway,
Wow.
it's great.
Yeah.
Sorry. I
Yeah.
got a little wistful because I've been having so much fun here. But what's something about GenCAB people don't understand, if anything?
Oh, how to spell the name sometimes.
Go on. What do you mean?
I've seen well during the tour, especially I'd see like Gen Can. What was what a one I saw? Oh man, I wish I wrote these
Dude, no,
down. It's all
gothsicles
sorts of
people get
weird
fucking on
spellings.
crack with that shit.
Really?
Like CIC, and it's just like you're typing up the event on a computer I know is connected to the internet. Like it's
Yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah.
but you
You
get
can
like
just copy it.
yeah, GenCan. Is
Yeah.
it like with a K?
GibCab, I've had,
GibCab?
and then yeah, yeah, and then just like weird,
Wow.
like because it's my fault with the I had the what is it, the capitalization all weird back in
Uh-huh.
the day. So like I'll see all sorts of weird forms, like lowercase c, uppercase e,
Oh
lowercase c,
yeah,
and I'm
it's
like, what are you doing, dude?
right. The iTunes standardization of band titles has wreaked havoc on the
Oh yeah,
industrial
yeah,
scene. No deltas or
yeah.
colons or any of that
But
go.
to be fair, too, the name is so like it was supposed to be Generation Cable. So even when you say technically you say GenCAB, it's technically it's incorrect. But I just started saying that, and it's
Okay.
stuck. Fortunately, it's stuck. Oh yeah, and then so yeah, when I came back, I wasn't gonna be GenCAB. I was gonna be Dead Man's Bastard, and I was like so hyped. I'm like, oh,
That's how
no
we
one will
can
mess
find
up
you on
that
Twitter.
name. Yes, exactly. That's where that comes from. So
I didn't
I
know
was like,
that.
here we go.
And
Yeah.
so you were gonna come back as Dead Man's Bastard. This is amazing. All right. So you're all
I don't
set
know if
up
I
to.
said that. Yeah.
Wow.
You
Okay.
might.
Space
Yeah.
Couch exclusive. You're all set up to go. Dead Man's David Dutton's back. Everybody. You saw him. You were in Boston for Fires.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah. I was. Yeah.
Boston.
Boston.
We're in space, but like I haven't figured it out.
It's way down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes there's like a life model decoy like walking
Yeah.
around of me, you might see. So if you recognize me in a show, which is weird because I'm starting to get Space Couch guy over Gossicles guy now.
Yeah. It's
Which
kind of
just like
awesome.
makes my heart happy.
Double success.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, the Space Couch thing. Like I just can't stop. But they don't understand how to spell the name. Fuck. What was I just talking about?
Oh, the name, and then how it was going to be called.
Yeah. So you're
Bastard,
like, all right, everybody, here we go, Dead Man's Bastard, and then no,
it got poo pooed on. Yeah. The label didn't like it. They're like, just stick with the other name.
Negative gain or.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in all fairness, it was probably a good because I didn't think anybody would remember it. And but most of the comments I get now, it'll be like, "Oh man, I had no idea they had like an EP out," and then they're like, "Wait, there's an album too?" And I'm like, "Well, how did you even know me in the first place to know this?" So it's just like it's good news to do that. It gives them more of a reason, a legacy reason.
It is, yeah. Might we see like Dead Man's Bastard as like a side project or something like that?
I don't know. So I ended up using the name as just for a song, whatever. But I mean, I have that and another name I've been throwing around for because I've been doing this other weird stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, whatever it called. Well, I don't want to say it
yet. Okay.
But yeah, it's a cool name. Yeah.
So, and let's be semis. We're on a rogue flight path out here in space. So I'm gonna bring this flying. I'm on a bed today, but I'm gonna bring this.
Before we hit an asteroid, something like this.
What's that?
Before we hit an asteroid, something like this.
Before we hit an asteroid, I'm just gonna bring this flying apparatus back on into the station. But I do want to be semi-space professional. We have to pick up Perish the Thought, the single, and the EP. Everything You See Is Mine out now on whatever platform you care to use. I got mine on Bandcamp. You want to, and then we learned today, buckle up for some, probably an album, or are you gonna?
It's an album, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know what to do with it yet.
Okay.
Because I know with this work rate, it's a little aggressive to. I'm so bad at planning.
High level, you got a lot in the clip we can expect.
Yeah,
in relatively short order.
Like done, it's in the bank, and then
would you
I
say
could forget about it?
Everything You See Is Mine is like indicative-ish of it, or is it like?
Yeah. So like it. Well, in the sense that one goes off in weird directions or whatever.
Okay.
But I would definitely say that the new album is more like it's like emo adjacent.
Okay.
But it all ties together. It's like Gridlock meets Death Cab for Cutie, I guess is like the best way to say it.
GenCAB for Cutie says
yeah, GenCAB for Cutie. Yeah.
All right. So that sounds amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Use as directed if you're at all sad. But oh man, you're the prospect of the marriage of those two. Expect the unexpected. It's a GenCAB album.
Yeah.
But whatever. But the point I wanted to make it is under the moniker of GenCAB.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Or at least that side of stuff will be. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool. So stay tuned for that. Pick up that other stuff now. This is Brian for Space Couch, for David for genCAB, saying call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Space Couch out. Now let's talk with the end credits here. Oh, right, yeah, we were talking before the show about how, like, UHF, Batman 2, like, they're all, like, every fourth or fifth episode of anything was like, the kids of this town don't mean snot to me, and, you know, they were hot mic takes, took down super villains left and right, but we got to talk to a superhero today,